Everyone in the city recognized him, even if they never knew his name. He was the bus driver who always arrived before sunrise, who adjusted the mirror just right, who waited a few extra seconds when he saw someone running toward the stop. For 23 years, his life followed the same rhythm: wake up early, put on the uniform, start the engine, and carry thousands of strangers safely through their day. He never missed a shift, never caused an accident, never complained. Until one morning when everything went wrong. That day started like any other, except the city didn't cooperate. A major road accident blocked the main highway, traffic backed up for miles, and horns screamed in frustration. He chose a longer route to avoid danger, knowing passengers mattered more than speed. Still, when he pulled into the depot, the clock showed he was 12 minutes late. 12 minutes, that was all. The manager didn't ask about the accident. Didn't look at the traffic report. Didn't care about the spotless record or the decades of service. He simply pointed to the rulebook, circled the time, and said the words that changed everything: "You're fired." The driver stood there quietly. No anger. No argument. He slowly removed his badge, folded his uniform jacket, and placed it on the desk. Around them, younger drivers watched in disbelief. Some had been late dozens of times. Some had caused damage and gotten warnings. But this man, the most reliable one of all, was dismissed without mercy. As he walked out of the depot, something strange happened. The place felt empty, even though it was full of people. No one realized it yet, but a pillar had been removed from the building. Because what the company never understood was this: he wasn't just a driver. For years, he had been the first to notice when a brake felt slightly loose, when an engine vibrated in a way it shouldn't, when a route caused unnecessary wear on the vehicles. He kept mental notes, and sometimes written ones, leaving them quietly on the mechanic's desk. He trained new drivers when no one asked him to. He adjusted schedules in small ways that saved fuel and time. He solved problems before they became disasters. And the company relied on all of it, without ever knowing. The next morning, trouble began early. One bus refused to start. Another overheated halfway through its route. Drivers called dispatch confused, saying routes felt wrong, timings didn't match traffic patterns. By rush hour, commuters were furious. Videos of stranded passengers flooded social media. "Worst service ever," people wrote. "What's happening to this company?" By noon, the situation escalated. A bus traveling downhill failed to slow properly. The driver managed to avoid a tragedy, but the footage spread online within minutes. Sirens, shouting, panic. Authorities stepped in immediately. Operations were suspended pending inspection. And then the truth surfaced. Investigators opened maintenance logs, safety reports, route adjustment notes. One name appeared again and again. The same handwriting. The same quiet presence behind every warning and correction. The driver who had been fired for being 12 minutes late. Without him, small issues had piled up overnight. Without his experience, no one noticed the warning signs. Without his judgment, shortcuts turned into hazards. The company that prided itself on strict rules realized too late that rules alone don't keep systems alive, people do. By evening, the damage was irreversible. Shares dropped. Contracts were frozen. Insurance companies backed away. Reporters stood outside the headquarters asking the same question: how could a company collapse so fast? The answer was simple, but painful. They removed the one person holding everything together. Public reaction was brutal. Passengers demanded accountability. Former employees spoke out about how much the driver had done behind the scenes. "He trained me," one said. "He saved my route," another admitted. "We all relied on him." At home, the driver sat quietly, unaware of the storm he had left behind. When the phone rang, he already knew who it was. The company begged him to return. They offered a higher salary, public apologies, even a leadership position. Everything they once denied him. He listened patiently. Then he said no. Not out of revenge. Not out of pride. But because he had learned something important. A place that values rules over people will never change until it collapses. Days later, he accepted a role on a city transport safety board. His experience was finally recognized. His voice finally mattered. Systems improved. Drivers felt supported. Passengers felt safer. The old company never fully recovered. Routes were sold. Staff were laid off. The name that once dominated the city became a case study in business failure. All because of 12 minutes. This story isn't just about a bus driver. It's about every worker who shows up early, stays late, and fixes problems no one sees. It's about how loyalty is invisible, until it's gone. And it's about the dangerous mistake of believing people are replaceable just because their job looks simple. Sometimes the most powerful individuals don't sit in boardrooms. They sit behind wheels, hold tools, and quietly prevent disaster every single day. And when you push them out the door, don't be surprised when everything falls apart.